Hi everyone, so this is Ashley. I have another beautiful fancy storage box of layouts. These ones are all from September to December 2012. So they're probably scrapped sometime after that. If you've seen my other videos, I've been going through all of my layouts and showing them to you because I just put them in chronological order, and I just thought it would be fun to go through because it's kind of fun to see complete work. So here they are, the two big girls on their first day of school. I really like this page. I used a lot of washi tape on it. I put it over cardstock and then punched out the clouds, and I made this background over the white cardstock and put it over the book page. And this is of Ruby Sky waving goodbye to the girls when they went to school. Summerly on her first day of school in grade 6, and just a few little details about the start of her school year. And on this page I use a lot of Heidi Swapp Gold Lame. I use it on the banner along with some pink mist and on some little book page pieces that I cut out, punched to make clouds and some little banners and a little bit on the background. And then I made all these little stick pin embellishments with brads and scraps of paper and some die cuts and stuff. This is probably one of my all-time favorite pages, and this piece doesn't actually belong there. That fell off and I haven't put it back. I actually don't know exactly where it goes. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. This is of Addie Blue on her first day of school that year, and it's kind of similar to Summerly's. I use a lot of similar techniques and stuff, so they kind of go together. I misted in the background in this gigantic postage stamp chipboard frame that was a old item from Technique Tuesday. And then I love this little confetti flag. I think I'm going to have to make some more of these. And I made this little envelope out of vellum, put a little bit of glitter tape on the edge, and it's filled up with little tiny star sequins. And there's little vellum cutouts and pins and stuff on this little line, and layered some little envelopes and stuff. That's one of my favorite pages. This one's called Hey Girls, and this has lots of Jenny Bolin products on it. I had used a feather mask that she came out with that month and cut out some little feather pieces with my Cameo. It's one of the very first things I did with my Cameo, actually. So this one's called Hey Girls, and I'll read the journaling to you. It says, "When I said that you were the cutest and I loved you the most, and that I am the luckiest and that you are the prettiest and funniest too, that I love your questions and the things that you draw and the way that you think and the sweet things you do and the way that you play, laughing and smiling. When I said that you were the best, I meant it because it's true." And that's just like a little open letter kind of to all three of them. Here's Addie Blue with her skateboard. I called it Visions of Speed. And I like this page. I like the dark turquoise background and the gold and the pink. And this is, I misted a wood grain printed pattern on one side and then punched it out. Addie Blue in her hat, because she totally rocks a hat. I love it, and I use my Cameo for this one. And these two are both Cocoa Daisy kit pages, and these are nice Cocoa Daisy letter stamps. I really like these stamps, and I heat embossed them in gold glitter on the little vellum envelope. Summerly on Novella for her, and I made this little mini book which looks like it needs a little help. Sometimes I make things and I'm not entirely sure how they're going to hold up. So this is just a little mini book that I tucked in all sorts of little die cuts and tags and pieces too, and more of it has fallen apart, so that needs a little gluey help. Stick together there. That's just a little mini book for Summerly on a page. Ruby Sky, my happy little lunch eater. This is just a document. We had lunch together every day, just her and I when the girls were in school. So just a little daily moment I wanted to preserve. It says Ruby Sky. She really loved putting the lid on and off the water bottle. So, and that's pretty much what it says. She sees and says, "a lid," and puts it on and off and on. It's Ruby Sky, who has seriously the cutest hands all the time. I think this is like my third or fourth page I've done just about her hands, sort of either something really specific or something more general. Itsy Bitsy Fingers doing the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Something about this page I really like. It's really simple, but I really like it, and it has a couple little details in it that were kind of fun. And the baby goes zoom, zoom, zoom through the house all day. This is her squatting down, playing with the little tractor, and I put this silver star washi tape on a piece of chipboard, and it's held on pretty okay. I don't know if it's going to last forever. I'm becoming a little concerned about that. And yes, I use lots of these chipboard stars, which are supposed to be misted. They're like resist pattern, but I like them plain because I like the subtle shininess and the white on white. The Ring Stacker Stacks Rings, one of my favorite pages. Super simple. I just love all these little bits and pieces and tags and feathers and stuff that I made all lined up in a little picture of her. Carefully picked up with careful fingers, carefully arranged in hand until the careful grip was just right, carefully placed on the pole and carefully slid into place. The Ring Stacker Stacks Rings carefully. So just to remember that very slow, careful way she used to do that. A dual purpose gesture, another one of Ruby Sky and her fingers, because she used to do that thing, and it can mean all sorts of things, like where is the cat, where is Dada, where is Lily, where is Addie Blue, where are the peas, where is the book, or it can mean the cat is all gone, he went to hide, Dada is all gone to work, sisters are all gone to school, the peas are all gone in your tummy, the book is all gone, put away. Serious Kind of Love, because you just love that girl so much. And I used gold foil on this page, and it's really shiny and pretty. Ruby Sky, perfect in pink with bows on her toes. Just sort of a fun page where I did a watercolor neon ombre kind of background and used some feather pieces. This is the page I did for Coco Daisy. Really simple because I just like the little pieces, and I used the cloud stamp and put it up on a pop dot. And it's heat embossed. And so is the heart. I heat embossed a little bit of gold sparkle on it. And I just like this picture. She just looks so happy, and there's this great sun flare that kind of makes it feel a little bit extra happy. This is Ruby Sky and Summer Nellie reading together, book and lap. And I'd actually dropped these little pieces were punch-outs from some like flashcard embellishments that had letters you could punch out of them, and they just fallen onto my layout, and I liked the way it looked, and I just glued them down. This is all sorts of book pages because they're reading a book. This is another one of my favorite pages. So this is called So Many Faves, hers and mine. And this is a picture of her on her first birthday, and just my favorite things about her that I remember from when she was about 1 year old, and then her favorite things that she likes to do. So it's kind of a birthday layout, but also just kind of a fun way to document that period in time. It was a cake miracle. I made this ruffle cake, and I made a smash cake and a big cake for Ruby Sky's first birthday, and it truly was a cake miracle because the cake baked perfectly and the layers cut smoothly and stacked evenly, all 8. The icing was fluffed and creamed and fell into the cake and rippled ribbons, and it was seriously one of the best cakes ever. It was a cake miracle. So I wanted to have kind of a party kind of feel. Simply Sweet, this cute little picture of Ruby Sky. And I used lots of stars and arranged them in sort of an ombre, reverse ombre kind of pattern. And these are all pink paisley stars, and there's some from their Luxe line and some from their, I don't remember what it's called now, Artisan line maybe. And yeah, so it's just a cute photo. And what did I write? There is a twinkle she seems to easily obtain, a gentle joy that's hard to explain, and when I look at her face and her ways and the way that she is and her fat little feet, all I know is she is simply sweet. 2-key pickup. So this is Ruby Sky on her front porch picking up a maple key, like the seeds that maple trees drop in the fall and they flitter down. And so whenever we'd come home from anywhere, she'd see them on her front porch, and she'd have to stop and pick up 2. She'd be like, oh no, a mess. And she'd pick up 2, even though there might be like hundreds on the page, and then 2, and she'd be done. So I really like this page with this little sprinkling of confetti and some little fancy, rad kind of things. She drew lines first. It says Ruby Sky learning how to draw. I love this glitter house. Love it. Love it. And I made a little embellishment with some little banner pieces. Her golden moment. So this was, I was just like at home doing something and all of a sudden realized that it was quiet and Ruby Sky had snuck off and got the box of Cheerios and taken it behind my desk and was sitting down eating Cheerios by the fistful out of the bag. So the journaling tells that story. The house was quiet, too quiet. I should have been more curious about that golden silence. Then I heard the rustle. She had found the O's on the shelf, reached them, opened the box, pulled out the bag, and sat right down on the spot and started cramming cereal in by the fistful, still quiet with concentration of this serious and stolen snack. And I just wept. And I happen to really love the little emoticon smiley face that I put on the little flag. Ibon, grabbing someone's iPod there. Ibon strikes again. Lots of texture. I sprinkled some neon heat embossing powder on the background that I misted these hearts onto. The Day Reader lives with words. So this coordinates with the other layout I did of Addie Blue called the, what did I call it? The Night Reader Sleeps with Words, I think. And so this is her reading in the daytime, and I just love that picture of her. I used a little speech bubble and typewriter wood veneer piece that I heat embossed on, and I just hand wrote the title in neon pink watercolor, and then when it was still wet I actually sprinkled clear embossing powder over top of it just to give it a little bit of shine and definition and just to kind of finish it a little. Okay, so this is a picture layout of the 5 of us when there were still just 5 of us, and the title and the journaling is kind of a spin-off on a Sesame Street song that my mom and dad and sister and us used to sing in our family when we were little. So there are 5 people in my family, and one of them I would swap. There's 2 sisters, a little sister, a mama, and a pop. So it's just a fun thing we like to say. I don't know what that was. This is Paul throwing Ruby Sky up in the air, and it's called Go Up High. She likes to go up high, and I use lots of gold glitter, heat embossed feather stamps from Cocoa Daisy, and I just stamped them and cut them out and arranged them down the page. This one actually goes like this, and it's a little mini book about our car ride going up north to Paul's parents' house for the weekend. And these are just some Instagram shots I took of the trip on the way. And this was using a Jenny Bolin kit. And there's also little pieces tucked in, and I just sewed the pages together. So it's just like fields and farms and stuff, and all sorts of little bits and pieces, because I really love these car rides, and I love the way that part of Ontario looks. And a rusty wrench piece. I think I actually found that on the side of the road, and I've been saving it forever, and it was like perfect in this book. Yeah, so that's it, just like a little mini album on the layout. Alright, Thanksgiving. So we're on our way to Thanksgiving during this car trip. So there's another one. Some people at Thanksgiving dinner. And it kind of looks like a pocket, but it's not. It's just fake. I just tucked a little. And there's some journaling just tucked in behind there. So the ISS is here, and we saw it at 6:37 a.m. is the title of this page. And this was Summerly had learned at school that the International Space Station was going to be visible in our town. So she and I set our alarm and got up early and went in our front yard, and we saw it go by in the sky, and it was pretty cool. And I made this mixed media background with all sorts of layering and heat embossing and misting and dripping and image transfer kind of stuff on it. This is Addie Blue on the day that she enrolled in her brownie unit, and I just layered up all sorts of little bits and pieces. And I just made this like crazy homemade looking shamrock thing that just kind of reminded me of something that like a brown owl might make to hang up on for swearing, for just wearing in night. One wild pony, crazy hair day. I cut all sorts of speech bubbles out. I think I have this as a process video, so I can check that out. Link it up for you. And same thing with this one. Summerly on crazy hair day, and I used a mask. I made a mask to put speech bubbles on the back, so they kind of coordinate and go together, but they're not exactly the same. And this was Addie Blue on a night that we went to Girl Guides and decorated cookies and had like a mother-daughter potluck dinner. And I made all sorts of little heart embellishments that were kind of fun. And just used a little bit of paper and a little bit of paint embossing in the background. So it's a pretty simple page, but it has lots of fun little bits and pieces on it. And I think this is the last page that I've done so far for 2012, and it's Summerly at her little concert. It was crammed into the music room at the high school, and I was really lucky to even be able to see her, never mind get this shot of her right in there playing. And this was a layout I did with a whole bunch of new Jenny Bolin stamps, and I stamped the whole background in Versamark and then put gold embossing powder over the whole thing, and it made the whole background embossed. Alright, so thanks so much for watching. Bye!